Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's great to be with you this Thursday morning. Today is May 15th, 2025. We get together most weekdays, not every weekday because travel can interfere, but most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories. As a 501c3 nonprofit, we received a grant to assist entrepreneurs, small business owners, and doing two things. Number one, improving their financial literacy. Secondly, increasing their access to capital. One of the ways that we have designed the grant to accomplish that is to work with professionals in communities across the country who go out and help us educate. Wouldn't call them salespeople, but certainly educators who are out helping educate on those two metrics. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the onboarding email that is sent to each new distribution partner. Now, this has evolved a bit, so this is the most recent one, the current one as of today, May 15th. If you'd like me to send you an updated one because what you have is a prior version, just let us know. But this has some really good information, and it's designed to allow each distribution partner, and you can call them grant coordinator, you can call them reseller, whatever you want to label, but it's designed to help each distribution partner get up and running very quickly. There's no cost to be a distribution partner. There's not even a contract they have to sign. So once they've gone to 509pacific.org, our nonprofit's website, we will be sending them an email, and this is what the email looks like as of today. Again, it's evolved over time. So you should see an email go into your inbox that looks like this. And what I want to do is go through it, kind of navigate through it, because I think some of you are better served if we walk you through it versus just send it to you. So let's go through it. So it will come from support@guaranteedfunding.org. It won't say test email. I sent myself a test, so I'd have this one to walk through with you. The subject line will say grant coordinator / Shelf Corp reseller implementation resources. So the subject line is this. It's going to come from support@guaranteedfunding.org. Very often we have people that are a little less sophisticated than you, so they're using Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, porn.com, any of those. So emails with links and attachments have a high chance of going into spam or promotions. So we always have to encourage them, check. If you whitelist support@guaranteedfunding.org, you'll receive our emails without issue. So let's go ahead and go through this email in detail, answer questions, and make sure that any new distribution partner knows how to get started quickly. So, of course, my name's Thomas, but it'll have their first name. Thank you for your interest in becoming a grant coordinator / Shelf Corp reseller. So again, these two terms are interchangeable. Don't worry about the title. For the rest of today's discussion, we'll just call them a distribution partner. It means all one and the same. Now, let's turn on the daily deposits by helping improve financial literacy of entrepreneurs and increasing their access to capital by purchasing a fundable shelf corporation from you. So several important points in that paragraph. First of all, our program that we're looking at here, we sometimes refer to this as the Opportunity Fund. It's designed to drive daily deposits into your bank account. Each day, you should be recognizing daily deposits. So that is an accurate statement. And then just as I opened with, there's two things that we do as a nonprofit. Thus, there's two things that our distribution partners are involved with. And again, that's improving financial literacy and increasing access to capital. The deliverable that we have to help people is what we call a shelf corp, or sometimes referred to as a fundable shelf corp. We have separate trainings on that, and I'll show you how to plug into those. But that's very important, right? Because the basic premise is if someone wants funding to start or grow a business, they must have a fundable business. You can't just want it. You can't just need it, you need to have a fundable business. Well, a lot of these people are less sophisticated than you, so they don't even know what it means to have a fundable business, and in most cases, they don't have it. So, as we've discussed in other trainings, probably the easiest, fastest, quickest way to help someone have a fundable business is them getting a shelf corp from you. Now, when I say from you, that's because in our model, you are a reseller. It's a private label, a white label, whatever terms you want to use. So you'll see as we go through this, we're providing you the editable client agreement. You're going to edit it, and we'll go through that more in a few minutes. But the contract is between you and them. And that's important. You might say, well, why is it between the reseller and the client? Because that gives you complete autonomy. You can set the pricing, you can set the terms. You're in control. You are in control of how that client enters into that contractual relationship. So it's not like an affiliate where you're just referring people to us and we're contracting with the client. This is much more empowering. The other benefit is the money that comes in funnels through your business. So you're seeing the gross income come in, where an affiliate's just getting an affiliate model is just getting a small part. All right, so let's scroll on down. So again, for any of you that came on late, what we're doing is we're going through the actual email that is sent to each new distribution partner after they've gone to 509pacific.org and filled out the form saying that they want to be a grant coordinator / reseller. This is what the email looks like as of now. It's evolved. This is the most current one, and I believe this is what we'll stick with. Subject line will say Grant Coordinator Shelf Corp Reseller Implementations. Got to come from support@guaranteedfunding.org. High probability it'll go into spam or promotions because we have lots of emails and links because of the purpose. All right, so let's scroll on down to the first section. We've kind of made it through the introduction. Now, I will mention that we normally will text them right after we send them this email to bring their attention to it, because a lot of times emails with links or attachments will go into spam or promotions. They may not be diligent as you to check there. All right, so first section, simple education-based resources. We are now using what we call the 3E model. So if you're not using the 3E model, I strongly recommend that you get familiar with it and use it. It's built around E number 1, educate, E number 2, evaluate, E number 3, enroll. So on number 1, on educate, what we want to do is build financial literacy, because an educated customer is your best customer. There's a lot of people out there, again, less sophisticated than you, less knowledgeable than you, and they have the wrong ideas about how to get funding. So it's not about trying to get them ordained to our approach, our philosophies. We're just teaching them the truth. How does business financing work? You know it, I know it, a lot of them don't know it. So we want to start with creating a common platform of knowledge. So even if they don't proceed and enroll, which is E number 3, you'll be significantly helping others by just helping them become more financially literate. So we have an on-demand training. You can see the hyperlink here, and I'm not going to go into all the hyperlinks. It'll take more than our time allocated today. But we're providing that to you up front. It's on demand. You can teach that in person, online, to individuals, groups. You're in control as a distribution partner, but you literally have a turnkey training module. You don't have to learn it. You don't really have to teach it. You're really more the facilitator. Make sense? So that's E number 1. Number 2 is evaluate. So now that the prospect, the small business owner, the entrepreneur has a common level of understanding of what does it mean to have a fundable business, now what we can do is evaluate, help them consider different options of how to get funding. Because again, we can't skip the part of I need a fundable business. So what we do with the evaluation is we use the comparison sheet, which we provide you. I'll show you down below where it's included in this email. And with that, then you're able to walk them through a very consultative, analytical analysis. And it's not telling them what they should do. It's just guiding them through an organized, structured thought evaluation process. Most people are not like you. Most people are not really diligent in stopping and evaluating objectively. Most people respond in a very emotional, subjective way. So, what you want to do is teach them the facts and then help them apply the facts to their circumstance. With that, then they can make a decision, right? They've got the problem. You don't have the problem. I don't have the problem. They have the problem. They need money to start or grow a business. So now they know, do they have a fundable business? Because you'll run into a lot of people say, I don't need a shelf corp. I've already got a business. But they don't know what they don't know. They don't realize that what they have is probably not going to get them approved for funding, or at least not much. So if we educate them and then help them evaluate options, I think you'll see about 80 to 90% of these people that have done steps 1 and 2 with you will proceed to enroll. So the 3E process. So let me pause there. Anyone have questions, comments, concerns on the 3E process? Okay, so I think we're good. And then there's additional training to, well, this is not really training. This is actually the module. And then there's a training that we do to help you understand how to do the evaluation. So this is one of those things, and I think many of you would agree. There are not many things in life that you can do where you dabble and make a lot of money. Now you can dabble and make a little money, but what we do here is frankly on a larger scale. If you're not generating $100,000 a month as a distribution partner, you're not doing it right. So it's not some pie in the sky. It's not MLM. I'm not trying to sell you a dream. I'm just saying if you're active, you should generate $100,000 a month by being a reseller. But what that's going to require is for you to develop some competency. And we've simplified it as much as we can. We've organized it even better. But don't think that you can just say, oh, yeah, I want to be that free reseller, put no time or effort in, and start earning the type of money that Corinthian makes or the type of money that Charles makes. It's not going to happen, right? Success doesn't happen by accident. But with that being said, I'd encourage you to get familiar with the 3 E's. To make that simple, we have put together 2 training modules, part 1 and part 2, that are part of this. Now, I see some of you saying that you came aboard before this onboarding email was expanded, and that's fine. You can just let us know and we can send you a new onboarding. You don't have to reset your relationship with us, but we can get you the newest one if you need. All right, so now what we've covered is we've covered the introduction and we've clarified the 3E process. If you're not using the 3E process, then I'd encourage you to consider it. But again, you're a reseller. You can do it however you want. You bring the expertise in bringing people in. This is what you do. And then once you bring them in, we do all the work and get you paid a lot of money. So it's just, if you can do these 3 E's, or if you want to do it a different way, you want to do 2 E's, you say, oh, no, I don't want to do 1 and 2. I just want to enroll people. It's up to you. You're the boss. Okay, so now we need to move forward. Now let's talk about the editable documents. So there are 3 editable documents that we provide each of you, and they're right down here at the bottom, right here. So there's the purchase agreement template, the comparison sheet, and the flyer. See, they're linked right here. So when I talked about, hey, use the attached comparison sheet, you would find it down here and you download it, editable documents. All right, so 3 editable documents. First thing that you're going to want to do is take the client agreement. The client agreement is this first one. It says purchase agreement template. It's an editable Word document. And you're going to, and this is real simple, but you all will make it complicated on me so often. Remove our information and replace it with yours. And if you want, change the pricing. So it should not have any of our information, because this is, again, what we call a private label, a white label, a reseller program. So that's number 1. If you don't do that, then you're not open for business. If you want us to do that for you, we'll talk about that in just a moment on the next section. but someone somehow needs to get your agreement altered and ready for clients to sign in some sort of e-signature way. But we'll show you in a minute how we'll do it for you, or you can do it yourself. Second is the comparison sheet. We've made reference to it here. There's a training on how to use it, and the comparison sheet is the second link that you can edit, remove our information, and add yours. So the comparison sheet is used for the second of the 3 E's. And then third is the flyer. If you want to use the flyer, it's the third of the links. Again, you can edit it. It'll need to be edited in Adobe. So we've provided you 3 editable documents. Okay. So Marcos is asking how to help people sign up. And maybe Marcos, you asked that before I just covered it. You're going to get them signed up, Marcos, using your client agreement. And either you're going to take the template and edit it, or you can have us do it, which is what I'm going to talk about next. All right. Kenny says that he referred in a reseller and he didn't get this email. That's not true. It was sent to the client using the email that he provided us. But what did we say, Kenny, often happens? These people are not as sophisticated as you. They're using Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, porn.com, and emails with links and attachments often go into spam or otherwise. We've got to help these people understand they need to run their business like a business. They don't want to be using consumer emails. And if they're going to use consumer emails, they're going to need to check spam and other promotions. But all people say, I didn't get it. And we send it and we copy and paste. So we're not mistyping the email. But if they need us to resend it, we can. But 99.99%, we've sent it to them if we say we have, and we send them a text, as I mentioned earlier, to alert them of it. All right, so this is new information on the on the onboarding email. So I want to go through this even more carefully because this will be new, I believe, for all of you. So we have had for a while, but we've not emphasized it, I think, as much as we should, the Reseller Marketing Program. We're going to call it RMP for short. It's optional. You don't have to do it. There are a number of benefits that I think it's a no-brainer. But with that being said, let's talk about what the RMP does. What we've seen is that those of you that are using the RMP are generating about 10 times the income of those of you that aren't. Why is that? Let's go through what's included. So one of the things that we provide with the reseller marketing package is a landing page. Because if you're out creating awareness, you have to have some call to action, right? That's the most basic principle of prospecting. What do you want your prospect to do next? And it's not, oh, just sign up. That's probably too fast, too soon. And that also puts all the burden on you. So really what we probably want to do is drive them into a landing page. We will create a landing page for you that is specifically yours. So anyone that goes to your landing page, that's now your prospect that you're going to be paid off of. So that's number one. Now there's more than just a landing page, and we've had other trainings on it, and you can go to our YouTube channel and see our other trainings, but it's more than just a landing page. It has drip marketing built in. Because again, what does Fernando know, or Gilda, or Gino? So many of you are experts in business development. You know that it often takes multiple exposures for someone to make a purchasing decision. Therefore, the drip marketing sequence drips to them via text and to a lesser extent email. Text are the most effective. So we can get them this on-demand educational material. So we can get them this evaluation tool. Essentially, it automates your process, and it also creates repetitive exposures, which is typically needed to get most people to make a purchasing decision. So that's included. I mentioned a minute ago that you're not open for business if you don't have a client agreement that's edited. So we provide you the template, don't we, right here, but you have to edit it here, or we can edit it for you. So if we edit it for you, we put your information in and your we set it up and for e-signature. So it's all done for you. You don't have to do it. That makes your life a lot simpler. And then that is embedded into that drip sequence. So then when you send someone to your landing page, they're automatically sent your contract multiple times over different points of communication, as well as mixed in with education. So that's obviously a best practice, and that's included in the reseller marketing package. And you click on it, and so you can read it. It includes our ability to pay you an override. So let's go back and talk dollars and cents. So if you become a grant coordinator or reseller, does it cost you anything? No. Do you have to sign a contract? No. In fact, it's the opposite. We give you a contract, the editable agreement. You edit it, or we can do it for you. And with that, then clients come under contract. We handle the financing. Clients pay you as the reseller, and then you pay us our portion. So we don't really need a contract for you to be a grant coordinator reseller, because frankly, we're not paying you, you're paying us from the client money that comes from them purchasing a grant corp. And again, they don't usually have any out-of-pocket costs. We get financing for them. So with that being said, we're getting some pressure to make sure that we have everyone's agreements in writing. So if you do want the back end money, so the front end money you control, right? You're determining when clients sign up, you're determining the price. We're going to get them financing, but the bottom line is you control the money flow on the front end. You're in direct control of it. Client pays you directly for that front end. On the back end, we need to pay you. And so our compliance team, we brought in a new compliance officer. His name is Bob. He is a retired oil and gas attorney. So he's our new compliance officer. He said, no, we got to get this in writing with everyone so there's no confusion. So if you do want the back end income, we need to have that in writing so there's never any confusion. And then that also allows you to earn overrides. So let's say that you bring in a client, and the client gets, let's say, $1 million capital raise. You get 5% of that, 50,000. Great. But what if that client says, hey, I also want to help other people? Well, then they can get paid their 5% and you'll get paid an override. So it's not MLM, not network marketing. It's just one level of override. So the RMP allows us to formalize that. Now, the RMP has a refundable deposit. However, I'll show you how to get away without that. So if you want to participate in the RMP, there's two ways to do it. Number one, you can click here, enroll, pay the refundable deposit, use the resource. Once you've had one client go through, then we refund that. If you say, no, I'm not about paying to play. I don't want to pay for any resources, fine. So we're going to run a promotion from today, May 15th, through the end of the month, May 31st. So if you are a reseller, grant coordinator, and between today, May 15th, and the end of the month, you bring in a new client that pays for their fundable shelf corp in full, of course, then we'll just use grant money and we'll give this to you. So you wouldn't have the $1,000 deposit. So two options. You can produce and get it free through that promotion between now and the end of the month. Or if you want these resources right away, you can enroll now, pay the $1,000 refundable deposit, and get it back after that first client goes to funding. So no, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. Instead, you can earn it by bringing a new deal in between now, May 15th, and the end of the month. You have to bring in a new client that enrolls in a fundable shelf corp, pays for it in full. That's what we're here to do anyway. So as long as you can do a deal between now and the end of the month, you can get this for free. If not, you can pay for it. Or you could opt out of it. But if you opt out of it, then you shouldn't expect the deliverables. So in short, the reseller marketing program automates your sales funnel, allowing you to earn more money with less work and provide you the infrastructure to track commissions. And that's one of the things that Bob said. is we've got to be able to automate this to accommodate our growth. So at first, we were saying people needed the reseller marketing program to earn the override commissions, but not everyone wanted that. So we relaxed it. But it's very, very difficult to manually track now that we have almost 1,000 resellers. Many of them have overrides. So with that being said, we need the RMP. You can pay for it as a refundable deposit, or if you don't want to pay for it, that's fine. Just bring in a client, new client between now, May 15th, and the end of May that signs up through you, that pays for the Shelf Corp in full, and we'll give it to you. Make sense? All right, then at the bottom, resources and support. Madison works over at our nonprofit, which is 509 Pacific. The direct number there is 903-352-3390. So you can call there. Often she'll answer the phone, but she gets a lot of calls. And so if she's not available, I encourage you to leave a message. Some people will call but not leave a message, and that's not very effective. We provide everyone access to our daily trainings like today. So here's the link for it, and then access to our training library. So let me summarize what I've said, and then we'll get into your questions, comments, concerns. So we're growing. Things are going well. We're helping lots of clients enroll, lots of clients get funding, building our distribution team, all excellent. We're expanding our facilities. A lot of you call in during the day and you hear the construction out front where we're building a new office tower to accommodate more staff. So we're growing literally as an organization, but also figuratively in volume and size and funding. So all is good there. With that, we need to continue to become more and more structured. So first thing that we've done is created structure of how you can develop clients. So instead of you going out and figuring out what to do and what to say and being insecure, no more. Use the canned content. Use the canned content to communicate the proposition, connect with the individual, do the one-on-one evaluation, and then just give them the option to enroll. 3 E's, training how to do that right here, right off. As we've always done, we provide you the same editable 3 documents. There's no changes to those. Those are as they have been. And then we're taking a greater emphasis in promoting the reseller marketing program, not because we make any money off of it, because we don't, but in fact, it's an expense to us, but it provides you the tools and resources that we frankly think that you probably will need. And you can either pay a refundable deposit and get it, or skip that. And over the next 2 weeks, between May 15th today and May 31st, 2025, bring in a new client that buys a Shelf Corp from you, that pays for it in full by the end of the month, and then we'll give this to you. So there's an incentive. And frankly, if you're not generating a new client every 2 weeks, you're in the wrong role anyway. So it's pretty much we're giving it to everyone that's serious. If you're not serious, maybe you should do something else. And then, of course, we covered our support content. So let's go ahead and get to questions, comments, concerns. All right. Ernest says that he would like to get an update because he came on before this. Yeah. So Ernest, if you want us to send you this updated with all the new resources, here's what I would do is I would text our support line. Our text support line is the same. Well, I'll make it simple. Whatever you want to do. You can email us. You can call Madison. You can call on my side, whatever you want. But let us know. And yes, we're more than happy to send you this new onboarding. Absolutely, Ernest. All right. Let's see what the next question is. Well, Kenny was asking about the RMP, but I think we covered that now. So he had asked that before we got to it. So I think we're good there. Corinthian says, thanks for the clarity. You're welcome. Gino asked about the cost for the fundable Shelf Corp. Well, that's a great question. You'd have to ask you, Gino, because you determine the price. Do you remember a while ago when we said you can alter the price? So we know the wholesale price of a fundable Shelf Corp is $10,000, Gino. Anything that you mark it up above that is your profit. clients with approved credit, they have no out-of-pocket cost, right? So it's not like they have to come up with money out of pocket. They should have to come up with zero out of pocket. They sign the contract with you, and then we send them the finance agreement. They fill out the finance agreement. Everyone gets funding offers. Everyone gets financing offers. Everyone, regardless of credit or income. So everyone gets financing. So no, you don't have to collect any money up front from them. Instead, what will happen is we'll get them financing to pay for the Shelf Corp, and everyone gets financing. Tom asked what our fee for the Shelf Corp is, and I guess that's the same thing we just discussed. So the wholesale cost is $10,000. Anything you want to market above that is your profit. But remember, we got a grant, and the grant reimburses the client the full amount of the Shelf Corp up to a max of $20,000. So in the end, the client's getting it for free. They will need to buy it, use it for funding, and then the grant reimburses them. All right. Let's see here. What other comments? Got a thumbs up from Corinthian. Eduardo asked about the video link, and the video link was right here, Eduardo. So remember, we discussed, we make it really convenient. We've continued to modify this onboarding email to really be self-contained, because otherwise what would happen is people would sometimes go to our YouTube library where we have hundreds and hundreds of past trainings, and people would get lost. Now I don't think they need to do that. I think literally what's on this page is enough to get open for business and operational. And they should be able to be open for business in an hour or two. Okay, thank you, Eduardo, for that question. Bilal asked how to get a landing page. Well, that's what I just discussed. So if you don't have this newest version, Bilal, let us know. We'll send it to you. And then this is how you get the landing page, clicking right there. Great questions this morning. Tom came back and asked about the reseller. Yeah, so when we send you the editable client agreement, it's meant to be edited by replacing our information with yours and changing the pricing that you want. So you control pricing, Tom. Every one of you controls how much money you make on the front end. On the back end, it's structured. You're going to make 5%. If you're the direct reseller, 5% override. But we do need to have everyone on the RMP come June 1st. We got our new compliance officer, Bob, retired oil and gas attorney. And he's like, we got to get everything structured, and we need to be more formal. So you need to be on the RMP come June 1st. Does that mean you have to spend money for it? Absolutely not. You can either pay the $1,000 refundable deposit, get it now, or just go produce. As I've said 3 or 4 times now, bring on a new client between today, May 15th, and the end of the month, May 31st, a new client that buys a fundable Shelf Corp from you, that pays for it in full, and then we'll give it to you. Otherwise, you pay the refundable deposit, get it back after your first deal. All right, let's see what other questions we have. But I guess to Mr. Pitney's question, most people are marking up the Shelf Corp to $20,000. So you're making $10,000 on the front end, plus you're making 5% on the back end. That's the norm. But it's up to you. You all control the pricing. You could even charge less than $10,000 if you wanted, but now you're subsidizing. Gino asked about trade lines. So absolutely, yes. So trade lines are included with the Shelf Corp program. I would say go back and review our training to better understand the elements. My goal today was not to get you fully trained on what all is included in the fundable Shelf Corps. We've covered that separately. The comparison sheet will help you, and these trainings will help you if you're new to us. All right, let's see. Doug's asking about the buy now, pay later. Yeah, so we have different finance agreements, finance partners, not agreements, finance partners. We have one finance app that we'll send to them once you have got them under contract, and then we'll copy you on that app. They'll fill that out. Everyone will get financing offers. Everyone, no one's left behind. Many people get multiple offers. If they don't get any normal cash offers, then yes, Doug, we have the buy now, pay later. So no one is left behind. But Doug's asking, does the buy now, pay later qualify for the kind of skipping the refundable deposit? And the answer is yes, as long as the client enrolls and is compliant with it. All right, let's see. Marcos asked about the 5% capital raise. So as of June 1st, we need, if you want the back end money, we need to have you. So we got a grace period. We got 2 weeks, right? So by June 1st, you need to be on the RMP if you want the override. But that doesn't mean you have to spend any money, right? I've said several times, you can either pay the refundable deposit and get it now, or just go produce. We're giving you a 2-week warning. And if in 2 weeks you can't create one client, you don't deserve a landing page, quite frankly. Because even you could be the client. You could enroll yourself if you want. I'm not recommending. I'm just saying, in 2 weeks, if you can't enroll one deal, then no, we're not going to give it to you, and we probably will discontinue the relationship. It just doesn't make sense for us to continue to invest time with people that are dabblers. All right, let's see here. Kenny asked about hard inquiries. Well, I think what you've learned, Kenny, in life is that you can usually get offers without a hard inquiry. This would be a soft inquiry, but it's very rare that a lender will formalize a funding transaction, send you money, send the client money without a hard inquiry. So there's a few that don't do hard inquiries, but that's the norm. Now, his question is, will it be on personal credit? Usually not. Usually we're talking about on the business side, but anytime you ask broad questions, there could be a bunch of different answers, right, Kenny? Because it depends. It depends on the lender and the loan program. But we're never going to apply for something the client doesn't want us to apply for. We're never going to generate commitments for the client for funding that they don't want. We're never going to create inquiries for the clients that they've not approved. So there's never going to be any gotchas. All right, with that being said, we've ran long. The goal today was to get everyone familiar with the updated implementation email. You can call it the onboarding email if you want. So if you go to 509pacific.org, fill out the grant coordinator form, this is the next step that's going out. And so when it goes out, it is meant to provide a turnkey set of instructions and resources. What we don't want people to do is just get this and then call us and say, what do I do now? That's not how we're going to be successful. We need to pause. We need to dig in. We need to understand the 3 E's. We need to click on these links and see the resources. We need to go through this training, which will take maybe an hour. We need to understand the 3 editable documents that are all included. We need to edit the client agreement at least, but probably the edit the client agreement as well as the comparison sheet, because we're going to use the comparison sheet for the evaluation. Gilbert asked a really good question. Can he have a sales team? Absolutely. And so I know a number of you, frankly, too busy to do all of this. So it's perfectly fine for you to run a sales organization, Gilbert. So you could have 1, 2, 5, 100, 500 people that are doing this under your leadership. That's perfectly fine. All right, with all that being said, you've got our contact information. Let us know if there's anything that we can do to assist you. We'll be back tomorrow morning. But if you don't have the newest version of this and you want it, let us know, because I think it'd be helpful for you to have this updated onboarding/implementation email that really provides, I think, pretty much everything you need to be successful. Thanks, everyone. See you back tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.